Well, thank you. That was really, well, actually, I learnt something today, which is very, very useful. So, Ian Massingham, I cover EMEA in terms of Zoom Phone and the contact centre. A bit about me, I'm classified as an old phone guy. Because I've been in the industry now for 30 years. I was talking about this last night. I think Ahmed was about 12 years old when I first started into telephony. So I've worked at likes of Cisco, Avaya, Mitel, and others. One key question people ask me is, why did I go to Zoom? I think for me, and Ahmed alluded to it, was the roadmap, was all the innovations and the additions to the Zoom platform, in particular phone and contact center. I think you can see by the Zoom wheel that we are just more than meetings. Back in the UK, when the pandemic hit, Zoom was synonymous or famous for pub meetings, pub quizzes, things like that. And I've just seen it blossom into so much more. And we do take customers very, very seriously and about how we work with customers. The research and development that we're going through to add things like AI Companion, which is a recent addition, is absolutely brilliant. There's an awful lot more going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to give you a brief history of Zoom Phone and a bit about what it does, the capabilities, and then I'll pass back to do a live demo. Always dangerous things, live demos, but I'm sure it'll be absolutely fine. And please, if you've got any questions, just put your hand up and we'll pass the microphone and you can ask away. Okay. First bit. I thought I'd put this up there. Due to the location of where we are, Zoom Phone, is it one of the new wonders of the world? I think it is. Yeah, I really do. I think the applications, the way it works, and I think we've hit on the word simplicity. It really is simple. So who's got an iPhone here? Did you ever get a user guide with it? You don't. We do exactly the same. We don't need user guides with Zoom Phone or Contact Center. It is that straightforward. I'm just having a bit of a problem with this, with the clicker. Sorry about that. One thing I'd like to say is first of all, thanks for inviting me, Arkan, and it's been really a privilege to speak here today. One thing which I'll absolutely say is you are in trusted hands with Arkan. Specifically with Zoom Phone and Contact Center, partners have to meet a certain level of accreditation or criteria, and Arkan have met that. So, it ensures knowledge, support, and technical ability, and more important, I love this word, trust. Yeah, you can trust Arkan and trust Zoom to deliver your customer experience. This is going a bit strange. Sorry. Yeah, it's going back and forth. Do I have to be closer? If I just nod, can you just hit the... Yeah. Okay. Back one, please. No, forward again, sorry. Right. So one thing. So what is the difference between unified communications and UCaaS? You'd have heard the terms. Unified communications is a phrase that I've heard for 20-odd years. In fact, Cisco wanted to trademark the term unified communications. Unified communications, it's a voice PBX. We have presence, we have a bit of collaboration, conferencing, video, mobility, and APIs, which we just talked about. UCaaS is ability to deliver unified communications as a service. Yeah. So, cloud, I think we've all heard this before. Why cloud? Now, I, as I mentioned, was an old phone guy, so I lived and breathed premises solutions, i.e. a really big box sitting on premise, lots of lights flashing, with lots of costs associated with it and lots of support costs. So why cloud? Rapid service deployment, and I think we've got some customers in here about how quickly we can bring these to market and bring these out so it's a usable, workable system. Centralized management, that's absolutely key to any platform. When you see the Zoom wheel, you'll see how many applications we've actually got. To have it as a centralized management means it's much less of an IT headache. Even I can manage it. So centralized administration, I can go and look at the phone, the contact center, the meetings, all that kind of stuff, and I can go and program it myself. Mobility goes without saying, and I think we've heard the term TCO, lower total cost of ownership. We've got these coming out, we've got various reports about how much better a TCO is with a cloud-based solution, particularly when you encompass centralized management and quality and reliability. Next. So who's using Zoom Phone? We've got every single customer under the sun, whether it's retail, consumer, remote, production workers, frontline. There's not one person that cannot use Zoom Phone. I love that availability. I love the fact that I can choose how I want to use my Zoom Phone, whether it's on my mobile client, whether it's on my laptop, or even whether it's on my desktop device. And I think we're going to see a demo of that later on, about how you can potentially use your existing infrastructure to support that way forward. So our vision, it's not new, but our vision is to create inclusive, immersive, and collaborative experiences. You've seen how meetings has enhanced the way we go to market with meetings, the way it works. I love the AI companion with meetings, so I can summarize a meeting. I can go and ask what's actually been going on that meeting. I can respond with AI. It starts to save money and production time. Yeah, it's I'm not sure how many people use meetings here, but has anybody got meetings with any AI technology in it at the moment? You're going to love it. The great thing is, because once the meeting's finished, you get sent a summary of your meeting. I've forwarded that to people I've had meetings with, and they can't believe how accurate that meeting summary is. It even tells me how many times pricing was mentioned, how many times discount was mentioned, so you can see that why they've actually asked that question so many times. So people do ask as well, why enterprise phones? We've all got mobile phones, why not just use those? There's a whole load of reasons why. Emergency calling, we've touched on that as well. If somebody phones 911, we need to know where that call's coming from. We've heard of CDRs, this is basically your call statistics. Receptionists, interactive voice response, call routing, common area phones, business tools that are tied to your phone system. So I'd imagine that some of your phone systems are linked into your back office, Salesforce.com, Microsoft, Zendesk, things like that. So that's why we believe enterprise communications will never go away. You need to have that collaboration with your customers at the forefront, and integrations and the CDRs, etc. So the power of the Zoom wheel, we've seen this, and I love this Zoom wheel. I really joined for the Zoom phone, but I've seen it just grow, and then the recent additions of the virtual agent and contact center, which we will cover, has really, and I'd love the phrase, have you heard the phrase, the icing on the cake? Well, the cherry is the icing, was the top of the cherry on the icing on the cake. So that's where I'll put contact center. The cherry on the icing, which I think is Zoom phone, and the cake is actually the meetings and the webinar bit. So it's really the cherry on the icing on the cake. We come to see the familiar experience, the minimal change management, and the way the client interacts, the way the user interacts with the system. Yeah, is that mentioned before, the single client, we classify that as the single pane of glass. I'm not sure whether you've heard that expression, but it's so true. I think one of the key areas as well is innovation. It astounds me how quickly we create not so much new applications, but put overlaying applications on those applications to make those better, easier to do business with. AI Companion being the very typical one. So I'll give you a very brief snapshot about Zoom Phone. Now, when I said I'm an old phone guy, I've seen all the features and functions that people will ever want or shake a stick at, as they say. So I've seen Avaya, when I first there, shout out that they had 860 odd features. I challenge anybody to tell me what 15 of those was. Most people use a lot of features, but I guarantee you'll use a few features that are key to you as an individual. So one thing I'll say about Contact Center as well is that Contact Center is unique. Yeah, no two businesses will have an identical contact center or a phone system, so it's unique to you. That's why the phone and the contact center have to be really looked at with a partner that knows what they're doing. Yeah, they've got the ability to work with a customer and really discover how the communications will benefit that particular customer. Yeah, it's not a, dare I say, meetings is you buy it, you use it, it does what it says on the tin. Phone and contact center are very, very unique parts of the situation or equation. So Zoom Phone, secure, simple, scalable, innovative, and extendable. So all these key phrases absolutely epitomize or work with Zoom about why it's also incredible to work with as well. Yeah. I think I would say that because I've been here 2 years and I've seen what it does. I've seen the roadmap and I've seen the vision. So this is it's one of our typical slides. We call it Zoom Phone Native. So we support 46 countries globally with a native plan. If you haven't got a native plan, i.e. the ability to provide trunks or public switch telephone networks in your country, we can utilize what's called bring your own carrier. And I think people are familiar with that phrase that I know here. So if you can't use native, then we can use bring your own carrier. But the reason why I put this slide up is that many customers have got remote offices, whether they be in the UK, Germany, Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, etc. So at least you know that if you do take on a Zoom Phone platform, that you can service the globe. Yeah, we do work in pretty much every single country globally, apart from the ones that are clearly embargoed or we're not allowed to sell into. So, feature-rich solution. I mentioned the 864 features that a certain vendor had. I think we've got over that now. I think we've got 1,000 plus features. I don't know what they all are, but I'm going to pick on a few ones which I think are very important and are very useful in terms of a business environment. Elevate call to meeting. I'm not sure whether we'll demonstrate that, but that is, it's simple as that. If I'm on a call, I can elevate that to a video meeting. Transfer incoming calls to meetings. Some of the particular ones I like, call recording. We do it out the box. We don't charge for it. It's available. It's out the box solution. So there's no more licensing. One thing I do love about Zoom Phone is it's very simple to license. You got 3 licenses: basic license, a common area phone, which is exactly that, and you got the Zoom Phone Pro. Zoom Phone Pro, you get all of those features in that single license. Call monitoring is an interesting one. Who's got a contact center here? So call monitoring, as a supervisor, I can listen to people's calls. I can whisper into their ear. If they're doing a good job, I can say, well done. If they're not doing such a good job, I can do some coaching. I think they call that coaching these days. And if it really gets heated, so if the customer on the end of the phone is getting really argumentative, as a supervisor, I can then go in and take that call over. I think that's a very powerful feature. Whisper announcements, again, it's out of the box, there's no extra licensing. It really does mean that you're in control of that customer experience. Other things, call flip between devices. That's, you probably do that already, but if I'm on my mobile device coming into the office, I can come into the office, park up, walk into my office and switch it to a desk phone or switch it to my laptop. Or indeed, if it's a bigger call, I can walk into a meetings room and flick it onto a meeting as well. Oh, there we go. So elevate to meeting, just a little bit of a snapshot about what it is. If I'm on a call, I can simply hit elevate to meeting and I can bring people into the video meeting. Why is that important? I think video has been known to be the most personable way of interacting with people. I can start with a chat, I can elevate that chat to a phone call, and I can say, look, let's have a face-to-face, or bring people into that meeting and just elevate it. So it is just really, really straightforward. He fell over there. Call recording, something out of the box. So we can do ad hoc recording, or you can do full-time recording. Yeah, and these are, we store them for 7 to 10 years at the moment. So you've got a history of all that call recording. Call monitoring, I just talked about. So literally, you will be listening to, and again, visibly on the actual screen itself, it'll tell you where you are in that process. So you always know actually what you're doing and how straightforward and easy it is to do that call monitoring and whisper that announcement. So the call flip, it really is straightforward. What you do is, and I'm not sure it'll be demonstrated, but you simply park the call, and I can walk across to any other device and pick that call up. If you have got an open environment, so if you've got a hot desking area, as a for instance, or if you've got a hot desking area, if you're familiar with the term hot desking, I can walk up to a phone and log into any device and utilize that phone as my own. If it's a private call, you can just park that and pick it up and take it into another room. So if it's private, I don't want anyone else to hear that conversation. I can just pick that up, walk into a room, a quiet room, and park that device and pick it up. And this is an important one. So I think if you've got bad reception, I think it's alluded to or referenced. If you've got bad reception or bad networking, voice quality is going to fall. And you're going to get a very bad experience. But what you need to know is how that was, what one was at fault. Was it your local area network? Was it the Wi-Fi? So as an administration person or an IT manager, you can go in and monitor and look what actually happened to that call. You can either look back and see what's called MOS scores, mean opinion score, which gives how good that quality of the call actually was. Call queue, back to the contact center piece there. Call queuing. Yeah. If I've got a direct dialing in number to a sales group, to a support group, I can then create a group. By that I mean put people into a group. So there might be a service group. You might have 5 or 6 people that are servicing numbers, a tech support group, DDI call can come in, so you can set that call queue up. And there are various things you can set it up to, such as sequential, which you then scroll down the group, or you can have it as collective, so all the phones ring. Yeah. And that's what you can do on a personal phone as well. So what I would say is, when I mentioned that you don't need a user guide, the administration of your own personal phone use, i.e. your own DDI, is really, really straightforward, and I'm hoping you may have used that yourself. And that goes across the entire administration of Zoom Phone and also Contact Center, about how easy it is to administer. So if you, as any IT managers here, it really does mean that you can basically save production, save your own time. PowerPack is a very powerful application, or a very powerful add-on. It is enveloped into the Zoom One. It's 2 things. It's a call handling environment. So if you're a receptionist or an operator and you take a high volume of calls, it gives you the ability to deal with those calls a lot quicker. Yeah, so it enables to park. So if you're a hotel receptionist or in one of those environments where you're taking the main number coming in, so you have a main number, which is your DDI for your main group, yeah, give that person a PowerPack license, they can deal with that a lot quicker. Going back to the sort of contact center environment, and this is only for voice, of course, it gives you advanced analytics. So it can give you a wallboard. If you're familiar with wallboards, it tells you how good you're doing or how bad you're doing, how many calls are queuing, how many lost, how many answered, etc. So using a single PowerPack license, you can do 2 things. High volume of calls and also your queue analytics as well. So again, it's a very simple addition, very easy to set up, and I'm sure that if you wanted to know more about it, we could talk to you for a lot longer. So Zoom phone integrations. Again, mentioned a lot earlier on. Yes, we do integrate with Teams. We've got no choice. We have to work with them. But so it does mean that if you've got a Teams environment, yeah, we can integrate with Teams, and you can utilize Zoom phone on the back of Teams. You can use your E3 license and integrate with Zoom phone right back. We've also got direct access. What's it called? Direct access connect. Yeah, so we can do that. I think it's very important because Microsoft Teams is common. It is common out there. I deal with it day in, day out. I've got customers asking, "Well, I've got Teams. I don't need Zoom phone." When we show them how good Zoom phone is and how feature-rich Zoom phone is and how it integrates with other platforms, and it's got its own inbuilt contact center, people can see the difference that Zoom phone has over Microsoft Teams. So again, we do work with them. We call them, I think it's called frenemies, if that's a phrase. Co-opetition. Have you heard that one? So we work with them. We've got Salesforce out of the box, Slack, Theta Lake, Gong, and Quora. So these are just a few of the integrations we've actually got on the system. So again, we're not precluding that we do everything best. We have to work with third-party vendors. So why would we redesign the wheel? Let's use those third-party vendors and work with them. Yeah. So if you can go into the Zoom marketplace. Device ecosystem. A phone system isn't a phone system unless you've got a handset on the desk. Yeah. Some people love handsets, some people loathe handsets. Yeah, I think they're going to be always here. I personally love to sit at my desk and have an option of, picking up a Grand Scream or a Yealink or a Poly handset and using that. The certified devices we've got with Yealink and Poly, you've got the emulate, or you can simulate what you see on your mobile device, what you see on your client, on a laptop, and what you see on the phone as well. So again, it's all about usability. Yeah, it's that same user experience that you've got from your mobile client to your handset to your desktop as well. So these are just a few of the certified items we live with. Audio codes we work with on the handsets, and also the SBCs as well, the likewise ribbon. So if you've got to bring your own carrier, for instance, SBCs, ribbon, or audio codes. You can use others, but these are the certified ones that we have. Now that's really a brief snapshot of Zoom Phone. I mean, I think the most important thing is to see the live demo we've got coming now, I believe. But just really about where we're going with Zoom Phone. I mean, it's not a commodity item anymore. Zoom Phone or the telephony, it's the way you deal with your customers is very, very important. The businesses get marked on how they deal with their interactions with customers. So having a phone system that A, works, B, is reliable, scalable, you can network across the globe, and is easy to use. I think those are the key areas about why Zoom Phone is important. And it's, in 5 years, or less than 5 years, we've grown from 0 to over 6 million endpoints globally. And we've scaled from 5 users to 150,000 users. So it's not for the small businesses, it's not for the big businesses, it's for the entire scope of every single business out there. And also every single vertical. So we've got health, finance, retail, manufacturing. So again, it can be for any single purpose. So I'm not sure whether I'm out of time on my bit, but there's one question. Have you got the microphone over there?
A Zoom phone, specifically a hardware Zoom phone, it was like one slide that I saw that have the title of Zoom phone, but it had multiple devices, but it's not branded, so you don't have a phone of your own. Am I correct?
No, we don't. We don't sell hardware. We've got the soft phone, effectively. As alluded to, we leave the good stuff to other people. They design and manufacture phones better than we would.
Yeah.
So we work with Polycom, Yealink, audio codes, and also other SIP devices as well.
I saw it like Cisco and yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So with some of the Mitel phones as well, we can repurpose those. So if you've got a Mitel estate, depending what phone there is, we can reflash that device.
That exactly was my question. Like in the video, you have the Poly and the Logitech as you can say it's already Zoom-ready devices. So which type of phones that you have similar to these? You said like now for an instance Mitel. So do you have another set of IP phones that you could call a Zoom-ready phone, or you can reflash it as you mentioned?
Yes, Cisco, Avaya. So depending what they are, we can send you the information. In fact, I might have it on the support page at zoom.us, because we know that, I know personally, the investment customers make on handsets alone. So when we're talking to customers and they say, I've got a Mitel and it's only 3 years old, we can potentially say reuse that investment that they've already done, which is really important because handsets can cost up to half the cost or half the capital cost of an on-premise.
Maybe more than that, yeah.
Depending what ones you buy, of course. Yeah.
I can tell, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.